Hey guys, welcome to Elevated Systems. I'm your host CJ, and for those of you who follow the channel, let me introduce my new co-host, Archie. Some of you may have noticed it's been a few weeks since my last upload, and I'll explain that and why I've got a bird on my shoulder a little later. For now, most of you are probably just here for a PC case review, so let's get right into it. The case I'm looking at today is another one from Okinos. I've reviewed a few Okinos cases at this point, and so far, they've all been solid. They've been well built, easy to work in, and usually come with a feature set that feels better than the price would suggest. Today's case is their latest, the MiniArt 4. It brings back a familiar compact Micro ATX layout that you've seen on the channel before, but the real question is whether it does anything new with it. And at this price point, is it actually a bargain or just another cheap case that looks better on paper than it does in person? Let's take a closer look.
It's the money.
The Okinos MiniArt 4 is a compact Micro ATX case that measures 395mm deep, 200mm wide, and 343mm tall. It supports Micro ATX and Mini ATX motherboards, but it's not compatible with rear connect designs. For hardware clearance, you can fit a tower air cooler up to 165mm tall and a graphics card up to 330mm long as your power supply is under 140mm. If you go over that, GPU clearance drops to 280mm. The maximum supported length for the front-mounted power supply is about 150mm. For airflow, the case comes with 3 pre-installed fans, 2 reverse flow 3-pin DC fans on the bottom for intake, and 1 standard DC fan at the rear for exhaust. Up top, you've got room for 2 additional 120mm fans or up to a 240mm radiator or AIO. Storage support is pretty simple. There's a mounting position at the bottom front of the case for either a 3.5-inch hard drive or a 2.5-inch SSD, and there's an additional mount for a 2.5-inch SSD behind the right panel. Front I/O is positioned on the front right side of the case and includes one 5GB per second USB Type-A port, one 10GB USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type-C port, a combo headset jack, and the power button. Around back, you'll find 4 replaceable PCIe expansion slots along with the power input for the included PSU extension cable. On the right side, there's a 25mm space for cable management. For dust filtration, there's a magnetic filter on the bottom. There's also a mesh filter under the top panel, although that one is not removable. At the time of filming, the MiniArt 4 is selling for $55 US. Now, when it comes to build quality, this is another solid case from Okinos. The MiniArt 4 has a clean, seamless design that looks tidy without feeling overstyled. Getting into the case is simple. You start by removing the toolless ABS plastic top panel, which then gives you access to the side panels. Both side panels are toolless and held in place with ball studs. The right panel is solid steel, while the left side and front panels are made from 1.2mm mesh steel. Overall, the case feels sturdy. There's no noticeable flex, no wobble, and the panels stay in place securely without any rattling. Okinos also included what's becoming a bit of a signature touch for them, a walnut accent inlay on the top panel with their branding. As with a lot of compact PC cases, planning your build matters. The MiniArt 4 will fit a wide range of hardware, but there are a few details you'll want to think through before you start. Now, my test system uses an MSI Pro B650M motherboard, which follows the layout you now see on most modern Micro ATX boards. The M.2 slot sits in the top PCIe lane position, which pushes the primary by 16 graphics slot down to the second expansion slot. That layout is common on probably 3/4 or more of the Micro ATX boards on the market right now. Part of the reason is for performance. Board makers want the primary M.2 slot connected directly to the CPU for the best SSD speeds. It also helps with physical fitment because putting that M.2 slot above the graphics cards gives more room for taller SSD heat sinks and active coolers without having them interfere with the PCIe card installation. On a compact board, that extra separation can matter for better or worse. Now, Gigabyte and MSI and a few still make a few boards with a by 16 slot in the top position, but they're getting harder to find, and that layout difference did end up mattering in this build. Starting with the good news, the motherboard itself fit without any issues. There's plenty of room up top, and there's also enough space along the front side for cable pass-throughs. What you do not get are pass-through openings below the motherboard, so the front panel leads and any cables that connect along the bottom edge of the board have to be routed from the front of the case. Not a big deal and pretty normal for compact cases. If you're installing a top-mounted AIO, make sure you connect your CPU power and any other top-edge cables before the radiator goes in, because access gets a lot tighter after that. For cooling clearance, my 162mm tall tower cooler fit without problem. I also used a power supply that is exactly 140mm long, so I could fit my 335mm graphics card, which is technically 5mm longer than the listed maximum for this case. Now, in this case, I was able to get away with it because my motherboard drops the graphics card to that second PCIe slot position. That places the card below the PSU cable connectors and gives you a little more room to work with than the official spec would suggest. The issue I ran into had more to do with the thickness than the length. My graphics card is about 65mm thick, and that puts it too close to the bottom intake fans for me to be able to install it. The MiniArt 4 gives more clearance above the motherboard to support top-mounted radiators rather than reserving that extra space below for thicker graphics cards. Even if I had used a board with the by 16 slot in the top position, I would still have less than 20mm of clearance between the GPU fans and the bottom case fans. Now, I've talked about this in other case reviews, but it's worth repeating because it matters. When a graphics card sits too close to the bottom intake fans, GPU temperatures can actually get worse, not better, because the airflow becomes highly turbulent. In my testing, you need at least 20mm of clearance before that negative effect starts to go away, and I generally don't see improvement in GPU thermals until there are at least 2 full PCIe slot spaces between the bottom fans and the card. Now, my quick fix was to remove the bottom fans and move them to the top of the case, with the front top fan set as an intake for the CPU cooler and the rear top fan set as exhaust. Now, across all the vertical airflow cases I've tested, that setup has consistently produced the best overall CPU and GPU thermals. The only downside here was cable storage. There wasn't enough clearance directly behind the motherboard to tuck away my fan cables cleanly, so I just tied them down inside the case. It's not ideal, but it also isn't a big visual problem since you really can't see much inside the case anyway. The rest of the cables, however, did fit cleanly in the front of the case where there's much more clearance. Now, with my standard test system installed and the case fan set in the non-standard but optimal configuration for this particular build, it was time to check thermal performance. Now, I ran 3 20-minute gaming sessions, first on an open air test bench and then inside the MiniArt 4 to get a direct comparison of whether the case helps or hurts component cooling. Now, most of the time, I have a pretty good sense of how a case is going to perform before I even start testing. But every now and then I get surprised. Sometimes it's a pleasant surprise, like an aquarium style case that looks like it should be a hot box, but actually performs really well. Other times, not so much. The MiniArt 4 was one of those cases. In fact, the results surprised me enough that I spent 2 extra days doing additional testing just to make sure I wasn't missing something. In what I believed would be the best cooling configuration for my particular build, and even pushing the case fans to 100% instead of my usual 80% cap, the numbers were not really good. CPU temperatures rose by 7.8 degrees, VRM temperatures rose by 7.4 degrees, and GPU temperatures rose by 9.4 degrees compared to the open bench. I reran this test several times because the results just didn't seem right. Now, I've tested several cases with a similar layout and thermals were never this bad. I pulled the components back out, retested everything on the bench, then reinstalled them in the case and ran those tests again. The results every time were consistent, and this is probably the point where some of you are wondering how a case with this much mesh can still perform this poorly. The important thing to understand is that the mesh by itself does not guarantee good airflow. It only helps if the fans and coolers inside the case are actually positioned to take advantage of it. In the MiniArt 4, both the tower CPU cooler and the graphics card sit 90 degrees to the side panel, not directly against it, so they're not pulling fresh air straight through that mesh in any especially efficient way. There's simply too much distance and too much loss in static pressure across that gap and angle for the side mesh alone to do the heavy lifting. In a layout like this, good airflow still depends heavily on the case fans moving a healthy amount of air through the enclosure, and in this case, that ends up being a real weakness. At that point, I changed the fan configuration and went back to the stock bottom fan layout, then swapped in a narrower 2-slot graphics card to test that setup as well. Unfortunately, the bottom fans partially extend into that lower PCIe expansion slot space, so with those fans installed, that bottom slot is effectively unusable. Now, my RX 7700 XT, which is about 2¼ slots thick, ended up sitting just a few millimeters above the fans, although about half of the fans remained unobstructed. I reran the same bench versus case comparison, and the results were still poor. CPU temperatures rose by 6.5 degrees, with no fans up top helping move air. VRM temperatures rose by 9.5 degrees, which is enough to have a real impact on long-term motherboard health. GPU temperatures rose by a massive 11.4 degrees, which is absolutely enough to affect boost table behavior and reduce performance. There are a couple of reasons for these results. The first is simply the compact size of the case. Less internal volume usually means less room for heat to dissipate, which leads to faster heat saturation and higher component temperatures. Now, that can be overcome with well-placed high airflow fans that quickly exchange hot internal air with cooler outside air. The problem here is that the fans included with the MiniArt 4 just do not move that much air. Now, I don't need a lab setup to tell me that. Even a simple tissue test makes it obvious. At full speed, that rear fan should be pushing enough air to blow this tissue across the room, but it barely moves. What makes that worse is the fans sound like they're working a lot harder than they actually are. Now, my standard test system is fairly quiet, usually landing around 54 to 55 dBA under load on the test bench. Inside the case, under the same workload, the MiniArt 4 pushed system noise to over 60 dBA. So what you end up with is a noticeably louder case that still delivers worse thermals. So before I get into my final thoughts on the case, I wanted to give those who've been around for a while a quick channel update and explain both the gap in uploads and why I've now got a bird on my shoulder. Now, over the past few weeks, I've been renovating my basement and turning it into a 1-bedroom apartment. As soon as that was finished, I drove about 2,000 miles to the East Coast, loaded up my mom's belongings, hooked up a trailer for her car, and brought both her and all of her stuff back here to Colorado, where she's now moved into that new basement apartment. Now, the reasons for that are personal and not really my story to tell, but the short version is she's getting older and it was time for her to not be living on her own anymore. Now, I'm still going to be busy for the next several weeks, helping get her settled, connected with the right people, and set up with the right services she needs. So my upload schedule may be a little more sporadic for the next month or two. Now, I'm not going anywhere, just juggling a little more life stuff than usual right now. So I appreciate your patience, and if you want to help the channel while things are a little less predictable, watching, liking, commenting, and sharing the videos really does help. And as for my new co-host here, now he used to have the basement mostly to himself. Now that someone else is living down there, he lives right over there. And if he hears me talking to you instead of him, he gets pretty jealous and just starts screaming. So for now, my shoulder seems to be his preferred place to supervise production. Okay, final thoughts on the Okinos MiniArt 4. This is one of those cases that makes a strong first impression. On paper and even sitting on my desk, it looks like it should be a really solid option in the same general conversation as cases like the AP201, the Jonsbo Z20, and the Sama IM01. It's compact, clean looking, well built, and it supports a pretty wide range of hardware for the size, including tall tower coolers, 240mm AIO, standard ATX power supplies, and even fairly long graphics cards. The problem is that once you actually start building in it, and especially once you start testing it, the weakness of the design becomes a lot harder to ignore. The biggest issue is that this case looks more flexible than it really is. Yes, it can technically fit a lot of hardware, but in practice, your component choices are going to be much more restricted if you want the system to actually perform well. The bottom fan placement is a major part of that. To really make the most of this layout, you would ideally want a motherboard with the primary by 16 slot in the top position, but a quick search at Amazon and Newegg only turned up 2 or 3 modern boards with that layout, and only one of them was PCI 5.0. So while that path does exist, it's not exactly a common or especially future-friendly solution. There is also the unfortunate reality that with the stock bottom fans installed, or really with any standard 25mm thick fans installed in the bottom, you are effectively limited to 3 usable PCIe slots. And if you combine that with the fact that most modern Micro ATX boards place that GPU in the second slot, any card that really takes advantage of the 330mm of length this case offers is also very likely to be thick enough to run into clearance problems with those bottom fans. So in practical terms, this case is going to limit a lot of mid-range and upper mid-range builds more than the spec sheet suggests. Then there's the thermal performance, which is where this case really falls short for me. Even after reconfiguring the fans in the way that worked best for my build, the temperatures were still worse than I expected and worse than I typically see from cases with similar layouts. The included fans are a big part of that problem. They're loud, but they don't move enough air to justify the noise, and that's probably the single biggest area where this case needs improvement, because better fans would not fix every design limitation here, but they would absolutely make the overall results easier to live with. So where does that leave the MiniArt 4? Well, I don't think it's a bad case in the sense that it's cheaply made or poorly finished, because it's not. The build quality is good, the design is clean, and there are some thoughtful ideas here, but I do think it's a case that needs more refinement. The internal layout and cooling strategy don't line up especially well with the way a lot of modern Micro ATX systems are actually built today. If Okinos revisits this design, I think the path forward is pretty clear. The company needs to either create more functional clearance around the bottom fan and GPU area, or rethink the cooling layout around the realities of modern motherboards and graphics card sizings. And regardless of the layout changes, the stock fans need to be better. As it sits right now, I think the best case scenario for the MiniArt 4 is a carefully planned build with better fans, ideally slim 120mm fans on the bottom, a 240mm AIO up top, and a graphics card that stays as close to a true dual slot design as possible. In other words, you can make this case work, but only if you build around its limitations, and instead of expecting it to adapt to the hardware you want to use. So my take is pretty simple. The MiniArt 4 looks better on paper than it performs in practice. It's still usable. With the right parts, you can make it work, but this is not a case I would recommend casually based on the spec sheet alone. You need to know exactly what you're putting in it, because in this case, the real limitations only start to show once the build is underway.